All right. Hello. Welcome to our videos for the new section, section 2.3. We're going to start with polynomial division. All right. So let's start with just a sort of problem we all know how to do. At least I hope at this point. Factor x squared plus 5x. Let me make this bigger. Factor x squared plus 5x plus 6. Okay, let's just solve it equaling 0. Let's do it that way. All right, so now we know how to factor that. That's x plus 3 times x plus 2 equals 0. Okay, and so these solutions give us x equals -3 or x equals -2. All right. Now, what we're going to do next is we're actually going to do long division of polynomials. Okay, so let's take x squared plus 5x plus 6 and divide it by x plus 2. Okay, so now if everything makes sense, we should get x plus 3 on the top. So let's just double check and make sure we do get that. Okay, so let's start by taking this x squared and we're going to divide it by this x. Okay, so when we take x squared divided by x, that gives us x. And we're just going to put an x right up top here. All right. Now we're going to take this x and multiply it by this x plus 2. Okay, and we're going to put it just right underneath this x squared plus 5x plus 6. So x times x is x squared plus 2x. Now I'm going to put a parentheses around it and subtract. Okay. These x squareds cancel. The whole point is that that x squared, that term should cancel. Otherwise, you're not getting the right, you're not going to get the right thing. Okay. 5x minus 2x is going to be 3x plus 6. 3x divided by x is going to be plus 3. Okay. Now we're going to multiply this 3 by this x plus 2. So 3x plus 6. And now we're going to put parentheses around it and subtract. And we get a remainder of 0. Okay. That's basically what long division is. Okay. Let's do another one. We're going to take z to the 4th minus 14z squared plus 1, and we're going to divide it by z squared minus 4z plus 1. Okay, now the first thing I want us to notice here is that this is actually missing like terms. There's no z cubed term, there's no z term. So I think it's helpful. It's not required. You don't actually have to do this at this point. Later on we will. But it's a good practice to fill in the missing terms. Okay, so z squared minus 4z plus 1. It has terms of every degree. Okay. But z to the 4th, we're going to add a 0 times z cubed. Then we got our minus 14z squared plus 0 times z plus 1. Okay, now we're going to take z to the 4th and divide it by z squared. I mean, z to the fourth divided by z squared is just z squared. Okay? So we'll have a z squared here. We're going to take this z squared and multiply it by these terms. So we get z to the fourth minus 4z cubed plus z squared. Now, again, parentheses and subtract. But we have to be very deliberate, okay? We're going to be very deliberate that will reduce our mistakes. So z to the fourth minus z to the fourth is 0. This is going to give us a plus 4z cubed, okay, minus 15z squared. I'm going to bring down that 0z and 1. All right? Next, we're going to take this 4z cubed and divide it by z squared. I have to admit, this is the second time I'm making this problem because I made a mistake the last time and I forgot that 4. It happens. Sometimes you just have little messed up moments like that. Luckily, I delete that video and you'll never see that. Okay? So the 4z times z squared minus 4z plus 1 is going to be 4z cubed minus 16z squared plus 4z, and then you're going to subtract it. Again, the leading term is supposed to disappear. Okay, the leading term disappears. Otherwise, you're not really doing it. Okay, if that leading term doesn't become 0, then something is wrong. Okay, now let's be careful. Negative 15, this is going to be plus 16, so it's going to be a positive z squared. Okay, minus 4z plus 1. Okay, now look. How many times does this z squared go into that z squared? 1. And look, it's z squared and it's the same thing. So it's actually we're gonna be done on this one. Plus 1, multiplying this on there, we're gonna have z squared minus 4z plus 1, parentheses and subtract, and we get a remainder of 0. Okay, so now what this is telling us is, in essence, z to the fourth minus 14z squared plus 1 is equal to z squared minus 4z plus 1 times z squared plus 4z plus 1. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and call it a video. I'm going to come back and we're going to do some synthetic division next.